Okay, so this next video, I have to hop into the game real quick. I don't really have to hop in the game. We'll pull paint up while it loads real quick just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. So this next video is in response. I was going to do just a live reaction. Or not live because I've already watched it, but I was going to do a reaction to like Stoops or somebody. I haven't watched anybody's videos. The only persons I've watched is Memos because I watched him live, so I did watch Memo's experience with it. I just want to talk about a couple of things and not everything. There is a lot to talk about from the LOA ON that was very important to us, but just a few of the things that stood out to me that were the most important for the concepts that I preach and the concepts that I talk about. I'm always encouraging you guys to go horizontal and actually level alts, and really what that announcement was with the new Covetous raid, because we're going to get that new raid or that new concept. So let's pull up. I do want to pull up. Let me pull up. We'll pull up Stoops' vid. I haven't actually watched it yet in Stoops. I'm just going to skip through real quick. Not trying to, like, cheese you or nothing. I want to watch this eventually anyhow. I'll probably watch it at work tonight or something like that. But, I was skipping around already, not to see what his reaction was. I don't actually know what his reaction was. I was skipping around just to look at different things. So let's talk about Breaker real quick. You got to hit me with 2 ads, big guy. I just swap spots and I get another ad. That's it.
Right down there.
Anyways, let's talk about Breaker really quickly. It looks like a great class, probably going to come out in January. I can see us getting another pass in the next couple of months. We talked about that. That's it. No, there's nothing big to talk about here. I don't think it's really that important. I actually think the class looks kind of crappy in my opinion, but that's just personal opinion. Okay, so this is the concept that I wanted to talk about. We get the hyper alts. This is cool. Just another way to keep us busy for a little bit. If you're not seeing this how I'm seeing this, a lot of this content is actually filler content to just buy them time for development. And if you didn't pick up on that, then I can't help you. But that's the reality. That's what a lot of this is. But the part that I actually want to get to is the Curzan aspect. I was right that Kazaros isn't the next raid. Okay, and as a matter of fact, I wasn't right completely because it is the next raids, but they broke it up into multiple parts. So I was right when I said that Kazaros would not be the next character that we fought because it just didn't make any sense. So it actually makes sense for them to throw more Legion commanders at us before they have us get to that state. Because that's like, it just seems a little bit anticlimactic. Like, you just rush us to that point and then what, right? Like, what would their plan be after that? So this makes more sense in my opinion. For them to do what they're doing. I'm not going to talk about the Abyss dungeons and all that other crap. I don't really care. I do, but I don't. The parts that are important to me are stuff like this. So we got to this point, and they said that the item level requirement for both of these pieces of content are going to be 1620 and 1630, which means it's the same as they mean. That means that anybody who's already made it to 1620 or could within the next month naturally is basically set up for the next 6 months to a year worth of content. And I mean this, 6 months to a year worth of content. So now let's go back to the return on investment stuff, right? And I don't care if you use I don't care whose fucking math you use. If we go back to the return on investment, that means that you have over a year to return the investment. And since he was saying it would take you a year to return the investment, that means any character you put your energy into, 1580 or under, is worth your time right now to do, since we're going to be in this phase for the next year. I'm not here to dispute my principles about rest and how it's more efficient. I actually play the game less than other people because I don't give a fuck. I'm here to tell you that the place of the game that we're in right now, for the next year to a year and a half, it's actually better to get more characters up than it is horizontally, again, at the bottom, than it's going to be to keep pushing one main character to the end. Because what they're showing you is that for a guaranteed next 6 to 8 months, that 1630 is the end game content for the next almost year, and we can guarantee whatever comes out after this Covetous chick is going to be a 4 or 5 months out after that. So we're literally looking at a year to a year and a half of the 1580 region of content. So you should be pushing more 1580s. It's undeniable now at this point. All they did with the LOA ON is confirm everything I'm telling you guys. All they did was confirm what needs to be done. They even gave us a 1620 Express Pass or whatever help that gives you level 8 gems, all level 8 gems. So they're already saying to you that level 8 is kind of the bare minimum requirement for where we're at up to 1600 or 1620. So they're basically telling you that that's kind of how they scaled the game or planned around this, in my opinion, right? But now let's go into the actual game and we'll talk about my ideas, because this is all I want to talk about. I just want to make a quick video about the 1620, 1630 concept. So in my specific example, and this isn't 100% because I haven't done the math yet, but what I'm probably going to be doing with my account is I'm going to finish out the Deathblade of 1600. What I'm realizing now is any character that I push to 1600 was actually kind of a waste, and here's why. Is because now looking at the Epic Elixirs, the way that they're redoing it, the Epic Elixirs are kind of dead. If we don't get the update change where we can get the 35 set bonus by the time we get Voldice, which is next week or in like 3 days, then they kind of killed Epic Elixirs for the West, because we already know we're getting the change where they're going to be better, so there was no point to push to this range. So I have a feeling that 1600 was actually a complete fucking waste. Whatever, the blunder happened, it is what it is. I'll go for 1610, I'll get the Guardian, right? But the point that I'm getting at here is that I actually think that this is one of those phases where you focus 1 or 2 characters at a time. Doesn't mean you don't focus your alts. I'm still going to be dumping immense amounts of golds into my alt. But while you're farming up bound materials on your main character, or on the main characters, or on your characters in general to keep honing them, you should be focused on 1 or 2 characters at a time. So now that I've gotten the Pally to 1620, I actually shouldn't be putting tradables and more energy into him yet. I actually think that you should be putting your tradables and energy into a second character. So that's what I'm going to be doing. This is specific to my roster at the moment. So anybody who doesn't have this, I do apologize. If you're in a place where you only have 11580 or 11600 or 11620, you really should be listening to me right now and go get more alts, because you have a fucking year of return on investment that you're going to be in no matter what you like. You're going to produce more than enough value on 1 to 3 characters to get 1 character to the end game range at all times. Therefore, you should be doing either less than that, doing that or less, and accepting that as the minimum and being a casual player. But if you're an elite player who's playing the game on a 20, 30, 40 hour a week fucking basis, you need to be making alts. There's no disputing it anymore. It's undisputable. Even if you use Dubla's ROI concept and it takes you a year to make your ROI back, you're in this phase of content for a year. So it makes sense. But my plans personally, what I'll be doing is now I'm going to be trying to get the Paladin to 1630. Once I get him to 1630, that's it. I'm not touching him anymore. So I'm basically going to funnel fucking everything into this character over the next 5 months. I'm not going to do it right now because we're moving into a save phase like I talked about in the last video I just uploaded. So right now I'm just going to be saving. I'm not going to be touching the Paladin, not one fucking bit, for the next 4 to 5 months until we get closer to Thameen, or unless the prices dip down. And I'm going to be working on probably the Bard, if I'm being completely honest. So we're going to be working on one other main character to get them up to 1610, and then another character to 1610. So my goals over the next year or 6 months until Thameen are to get as many of these characters to 1540 as I possibly can, to get the 1540s that I currently have to 1580 in the next 4 months, or 5 months, 6 months, and in addition to that, get all 6 of my main characters to 1610. This is a lot, right? But I'm telling you I believe it's possible, and I haven't done the math yet, so we'll see if it is later. This video is just to talk about that concept. To 1610, and then to get at least one of them to 1620. Is it doable? We'll find out, right? I'll let you know. We'll see in 6 months, and we'll probably do another video with the math. But I just wanted you guys to know that all they did with that update, all they did with the low on eye level thing, putting it at 1620 and 1630, was confirm the stuff and the ideologies I've already been teaching you. That there's a guy's video who I just watched that was talking about one main phase. I'm just going to highlight him really quickly, and then I'm going to tell you that that's a bad idea. It is a one main phase. We should be focusing one main at a time. But if you stop at one main, you're actually going to hurt your progression, like I've talked about before. This guy right here, Agam, great guy. I haven't subscribed to his channel. Let's go ahead and subscribe. Great video here, but I actually fundamentally disagree completely with the concept. He's telling you to only focus on one main character, the elixir cost and stuff like that. But we've already showed you in the past that by playing Rested, I produce more gold than some of these kids who are doing buses by playing Rested on 18 plus characters. So I don't think that a lot of these guys know what they're talking about when it comes to long-term investing. I don't think they understand actual resource production. The fact that we're not getting a tier reset means that the 1580 materials hold their value for literally a year. Even if the gold value goes down, it doesn't matter because you're producing more on a day-to-day basis. And since you're going to need the gold for elixirs, you actually don't want to be spending the gold that you do earn if you only have a little bit on honing and doing crazy things like that, right? Is you don't have the excess gold. So you're not going to be getting 2-3 characters with elixirs. You'll be getting like 1 character, maybe 2, because you don't have the production that somebody else like I have to do that. But yeah, TLDR, those are the item levels. That's the most important part of the entire low on that they talked about, because that's how you plan every single one of your decisions now moving forward. You know that the piece of content that's 4 months to 6 months after Thameen, which is a year from now, is the highest item level requirement of 1630. That means that as long as I can hit 1630 with my main character, as a matter of fact, why don't we do that too? This has only been a 10-minute video, so I have plenty of time. Why don't we pull this up real quick, just to kind of get an idea, give you guys some visualization again, instead of just talking about it. Although if you're smart and you know what I'm talking about, you don't like talking about it's more than enough. Well, let's just pull this on screen real quick. Let's just say that we're already here, because we are already here. We're like here, I think. So this is assuming you're already at 1620. If you're not at 1620, do your own math, because the reality of it is I can't do everybody's math every fucking time, okay? So if you're already at 1620, this applies to you. If you're not already at 1620, you need to then kind of do what I did in all my other videos is figure out what your funnel needs to look like, figure out what you need to get to these thresholds. I'm going to say it like it is, though. If you're trying to get to 1630 and you just got your first 1580, I mean, you better hope for a fucking straight up market crash is all I'm saying, and you better buy your arrays now. But it's unrealistic in my opinion. Maybe with the 1610 pass it's a little easier, or the 1610 event. But anyways, this is what I'm gonna need over the next 4 to 6 months. Let's just say 4 on the low end, which is basically what I farmed in the last 4 months, except my farming rate or my rate of farming has gone up, right? So instead of 3,000 to 4,000 leaps, I'll probably be able to get 5,000 to 6,000 leaps bound materials, because we're going to have Voldice, which is a whole new piece of content giving me materials. We're probably going to have more event shops. We're going to have more Abyss shops or raid shops or whatever. We also have a higher tier Guardian, so I'm going to be able to produce this a lot faster than I did before, which what I'm trying to get at is I basically just need to hit this bare minimum. I know I'm going to farm about 4,000 bounds on a minimum, right? So that means I got to come up with the same thing I came up with last time, which is about 5,000 bounds, and we know that we have enough with just the 61580 Sonavilles to be able to get the 5,500 that I'll need. So I'm going to hit 1630 like it's a fucking cakewalk, okay? I'm going to keep selling my stones right now while they're at a higher price, wait for them to crash down, then probably buy about a couple thousand of them back once they go down in price. But this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that this right here is what I need as a bare minimum to hit those thresholds that I'm trying to get to in the next 4 months to a year, because I really don't think Damien fucking matters. I'm only going for it now because I already fell into the trap. But that video I talked about not going for 1620, I'm regretting it now. I'm really regretting it. See, I shouldn't have went for 1620 on my main, because if I didn't go for 1620 in the pally, I could have took those 5,000 leap stones and I could have gotten a lot more characters up. I could have sold all of them at the premium price that it was at, and I could have gotten so many more 1540s or 1580s, it's not even fucking funny. So instead of preparing for the end game year that we're going to be in to be in a better position, I have to now start doing it 4 months in when I could have already been doing it over the last 4 months. You could have sacrificed, like I was telling everyone to, did exactly what I did back at Brell and what I did back at Clown back in the day. Sacrifice Voldice release, which is what I meant in those videos, because it's bullshit content, and you could have been more prepared for not only Thameen, but whatever comes after Thameen. Now I have to do it on the back foot or do it on the back pedal and after the fact, which sucks. Which means that the gold and the value that everybody just put into 1620 was a colossal fucking waste. Never mind the idiots that are getting their weapon up to plus 22, plus 23, plus 24, plus 25. You're fucking dumb. You are really dumb. And that's all this low one just did. And I'm sorry if it insults people, because some of you are my cool people, my friends, right? But the reality of it is you're fucking dumb. You're dumb. You just went into a threshold that you may not have to go into for almost a year and a half, but then you're talking on return on investment. There is no return on investment if you did that, because there's no fucking content in that item level range for over a year now. So congratulations. Congratulations on not only doing something stupid yourself, but then helping to influence other people do dumb shit as well. Again, if you would listen to my advice, and if you listen to my advice now, I promise you will be further ahead of all the people who don't listen to the advice in the next year, just by implementing some of your gold and some of your value sideways. In the next 6 months, you're going to make more than enough gold and more than enough value to get your 1620 to 1630 if you're already there, or to get a 1620, which is the normal item level requirement of the end game content, which is what you should be preparing for, not this, and actually not even the Covetous. Unless she gives us eye level jump, you shouldn't even be preparing for her. You should be preparing for whatever's after her. So you probably could have sacrificed the Voldice, Thameen, and this Covetous bitch, and you probably would have had a year and a half of investing horizontally if you wanted to, and you're not going to, because in your brain you're convinced you don't get the ROI. What's funny is we're both in a year going to be in the same place of the game. The difference is because I did this and I actually got a return on investment, and you got no return on investment because you didn't make an investment. I'm going to be here producing materials, and you're still going to be here producing materials because I made a decision that you didn't make a year ago. Anyhow, that's it. The main key takeaway factors here is that the item level requirements are 1620 and 1630, which means for the next year to year and a half, you're basically fucking fine at the ranges that we're at. Giving you opportunities and giving you time, because we're in an accelerated version of the game. Cost of progression. If you fucking actually know what it means. Because we're in an accelerated version of the game, we actually all have the ability to get a roster of 61580s in the next year, which is what you should be doing. A roster of 61580s. Hell, most of us have enough play time to get 12 1580s, which is probably what I'm going to be going for. 12 1580s with 12 1540s behind it, maybe more if I can over the next year. I'll probably try to go for the whole roster, but But yeah, I mean, it's indisputable now. You know, if I had done that with this instead, right, the 1620 cost was, you know, what, let's just say about 1,000,000 gold in materials too. We'll say 800,000, right? I probably could have gotten 3 characters to 1580 with that. So in the 6 months that because I got that right, so then in the next 4 months it would be like 3 times what, fucking 8, you know, 32 times 7 times 16 weeks, you know, times, let's just say 140, because I would have done it when I did the pally, so we would have been in this time frame. It would have been another 500,000 gold. Do you know what I mean? So I could have actually made 500k of the 800k I would have put into those characters back already. So, like, see where I'm going with this? Like, you would have already kind of gotten the value back, and we're in the end game. We're in this stage for a year and a half now. So you just compound on top of that. Like, except you keep the asset too. So any character that I've geared now to that threshold is geared to that threshold forever. And they're just taking more horizontal concepts like transcendence, elixirs, and stuff like that. So as long as they keep going like this, it's actually still a better value to keep going like this with your characters as well. But yeah, that's it, guys. People can talk all the shit they want in the comment. You're going to get KK, you're going to shut the fuck up. I don't care what you think. I really don't care anymore. Like, if you don't have what I have, your opinion is so much more... It's not valued. I'm sorry. It's just not on 9 out of 10 times. Unless you have less playtime than me, unless your opinion actually makes sense, I'm not going to value it anymore. It's not worth my fucking time arguing with morons. You don't get this shit. That's why you're behind. That's why you'll perpetually continue to stay behind, is because you just aren't understanding these little time value concepts. But yeah, basically the mortgage for the idiots that didn't get it, the 99% stoops, the mortgage here is like a year and a half you have to pay off the debt. So for your infinite debt concept that you don't understand, if you want to make it to 1630 with your character, that's a debt. That's a cost that needs to be paid to get to some point in the game. Therefore, you're already in debt. Therefore, you have to keep progressing forward in debt. So it's better to have more leverageable resources to help you pay that debt. It's not complicated. You're just an idiot. And if people are going to keep getting sensitive about me calling people dumb and putting people down and all this other stuff, grow a fucking pair. Grow a pair, please. Please grow a pair. But that's it. Yeah, so TLDR, the end game is a year to a year and a half. The end game item level requirement seems to be 1620 and 1630, which is much more than doable. So for all those people that are like, the natural progression, the game needs work, the holding is so bad, I can't do this anymore. Where? You fucking crybabies. And this is main crybaby right here. Right? Why honing is terrible. Don't hone to 1580. Lost Ark needs help. Like, shut the fuck up. Stop crying. Like, they literally just gave you a year and some change to hit 1620. That's the most doable. You could literally do that with bound materials, probably. They gave you guys the most glorious fucking shit ever, and all it's done, just like ATK saying that you needed 7s for normal Voldice, all this shit's done is validate Evolved Mentality's advice. That's all it's done. So it doesn't matter if the better value is 1540 Dubla, because 1580 still returns its value, and since it's endgame materials, it's actually better value than the 1540s. Since both return the value to you. You fucking ape. But I'm still with you, and I'm still going to do all the 1540s because you're actually right. It's just cheaper. It's a better decision to do first phases of the game. The phase of the game that I'm in right now is not to focus on these main characters. It's to focus on these 1540 characters, and then to circle back and focus on these main characters. So I'm going to get one more 1580, stop. What I should have actually done was one main to 1600, park 1580s, go for 1540s, 2 or 3 characters to 1580, stop those characters, get the main characters up to 1600 and the main to 1620, circle back, get more 1540s, circle back, get more 1580s, circle back, get all 1610s. That's what we're doing right now. So the phase that we're in right now is like, I'm a little late to the party, but I got to go and get the rest of the 1540s, which is going to take a few weeks, I'm not going to lie. And then we need to circle back after I get those 1540s to the 1540s that I already have to try to get a couple of them to 1580. We'll probably get 1 or 2 of them. I can't see us getting more than 1 or 2 of them. The Gunslinger and probably one of the other ones. And then after I get 1 or 2 more 1580s, I'm going to circle back and get all my 1610s. I might even get the 1610s before I do all of that, just because we're kind of already there and they have the bound materials, so it's just a matter of whether or not I want to do it. Do I think the return on value is there comparatively to the other ones? No, I actually think it's a horrible decision. So I have a lot of thinking to do, honest to God. over the next like 4 or 5 months in that regard. But that's essentially the concept. That's essentially the plan. You should be preparing for whatever content's now after this stupid covetous lady. If she doesn't give us item level increase, whatever's after her is what you should be preparing for. So congratulations to your mortgage, or your return on investment time frame is looking like a year and a half. The reason I wanted to also do this video, and I wanted to do it quick without any like real effort into this, and I'm sorry, I'm just talking at the camera, is because I wanted to get this video out now. All of my other return on investments, all my other concepts, don't go for 1,600, don't go for 1,500, all the other advice that I've given you guys all over the year or 2 years has always been a couple of months late once I figured it out. Okay, now that we're at this evolved state of the game, or evolved mindset as well, I don't need to wait months to make a video like this, because anybody who already believes me and trusts me is going to do the math themselves or look into it and see what they're capable of doing and just go along with the plan, right? So I wanted to get it out right away this time before Voldice is even released, so you have the entire time frame to plan your shit appropriately, to do what you need to do, to be implementing my concepts, to not only save you time playing the game, but still hit the goals that you want to hit and actually have more resources at the end of it and assets on top of it. So congratulations. Another evolving mental moment. I'm not actually going to be playing the game because I can't. I have to go to work. I have a lot of shit I got to do. But enjoy these 2 videos today, guys. Keep hitting that like. Keep commenting. Keep subscribing to my fucking videos. Let's get me over 1,000 subscribers. Let's fucking skyrocket. Fuck the 500s. Let's go up to 800, 900 tonight. Let's go up to 1,000 tonight. Let's make it happen. Because here's the reality of it. If we can get the evolved mentalities to be everybody's mentality, the game will change. Fundamentally, the player base itself will be on another fucking level of ascension. And that is our goal. That is our goal. That is our goal. That is our goal. So let's fucking do it. Let's get the channel popping. Let's make sure that we have the best fucking community ever, because we're following the evolved method. I'll catch you guys in the next one.